As soon as we're live, I'm gonna mute ourselves real quick, but I think we're good actually. Go ahead, audio. Hello, Maryland Hockey Network. We are getting underway shortly. Maryland hosts Virginia Tech after a bye week, a Halloween bye week. They fell to Penn State twice. It was two really close games. Maryland looking to rebound, and you could say a little bit of a rivalry game. Bailey Unchester and myself, Owen Korzak, will be on the call. Our beloved voice of Maryland hockey, Andy Parr, is currently on IR with a jaw injury. We will be back shortly with pregame action coming up next. The pregame Hall of Fame stuff will be, I believe, happening before the game. We will have it streamed and we will have audio. Bailey and I will not be talking over it. We will provide any information that we get. And hopefully that answered your question.
love Boston.
I looked at Syracuse there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Boston's pretty good.
BU rejected me.
Well, BU is also crazy.
I know.
So I don't want to be paying 90 grand.
I know.
Hello, Terps fans. Welcome to the Maryland Hockey Network. Owen Korzak here. We are just about to get underway. We are going to be doing some Hall of Fame recognition. In case you guys did not know, the 2025 Maryland Hockey Class of 2025 Hall of Fame was recently announced this week, so we're going to be doing some pregame recognition for that. We'll have the coverage here. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. It might be a little bit of a later puck drop. Game was supposed to start at around 8:50, 8:55-ish. We're just about 9. I think that's when we're going to be starting the Hall of Fame celebration. And then after that, we got some good hockey ahead between two teams seeking a win. Virginia Tech, Maryland should be a really good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Terps fans to the Gardens Aztecs for tonight's ACCHL matchup between the Virginia Tech Locals and your Maryland Terrapins. Before tonight's game, we're going to honor and thank members of the Maryland Hockey Family as they are inducted into the ACCHL
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Maryland Hockey Network for tonight's ACHA matchup between the Virginia Tech Hokies and the Maryland Terrapins. We have a bit of an ACC Classic showdown tonight. Two teams, bit of a DMV rivalry. My name is Bailey Unchester. I'm joined here by my friend Owen Korzak. Owen, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to watch some good hockey here tonight between two teams that are looking for a big win. Virginia Tech coming into this game 6-5, 0-1. Maryland coming in 7-5, 0-1. However, Maryland's coming off a bye, and also those two games against Penn State, they played really well. Netminder Jack Ferris, he played probably his best game of the season, even though, he had a shutout earlier in the year against Virginia. He definitely made some bigger saves against a much better team against Penn State. They lost in overtime. But Maryland, you could make a very, very strong argument that their two best games of the season were the last two games they played against Penn State. I'm sure they're picking up right. They are going to want to pick up right where they left off. We got a lot of line changes here too tonight. Second line is going to be winged by Caleb Craven. Caleb Craven is typically the second pairing defenseman, kind of one of the strong members of the power play. He's going to be on the second line wing tonight. Goes to show how much trust Coach Joe Carter has in some freshman defensemen such as Hayden Vogel, Jack Rakowskis, but then you got to remember the extra skater for the Terps tonight is Colin Doherty, so they're still technically going to have 12 forwards and 7 defensemen, but it should be something interesting to watch.
Yeah, as Virginia Tech there bats it back into their offensive zone, and we get a line change for the first time tonight. Got Brian Teske fighting for in the back. Now to Eli Petter. Up to Harnan. Harnan loses it. Back over there. That is Andre Serra fighting there with Michael Schreibman to keep that puck back in their offensive zone. Eli Petter. Back to Serra. Serra with a first shot of the game on Virginia Tech netminder Ian Key, who we saw a bit of last year as well. Very strong Virginia Tech team in general last year, especially. Maryland ended up dropping both games on the road last year by a score of 6-1 and 8-5 respectively. We're going to see if we can change the story a bit tonight here as Luke Mohan takes the face-off against, I believe that is Austin Hearn. Hearn to Harnan. Luke Mohan, Harnan, and another Hokie battling for the puck there. Checked away. Schreibman trying to get that out. Gets it out to Harnan. Harnan back to Serra. Serra back into the zone. It is intercepted by a Hokie. Puck is up.
Andre Serra has been very present here early. He's made a lot. He had the first shot of the game. Doing a really good job defensively there. He's going to stay on the ice here. He just got caught icing, but looks like, no, maybe a bit of a different side. We're going to actually have a penalty here early. I was lost in the play. I thought they were calling icing on Serra. There's actually going to be a penalty on Austin Hearn. Hearn, we've heard his name a lot too, but Maryland with an early power play opportunity here. Power play hasn't necessarily been the strongest as of late, but they're going to be moving a few players around. They got the three true defensemen out there.
Harnan and Stewart taking the face-off. One back to Virginia Tech. This is Trevor Kellogg battling for the puck along the boards. It is now to Craven. Craven circles around, tries to get it back to Mohan. Harnan, I'm sorry. Harnan back to Craven. Craven back to Harnan. Puck was trying to get to Eli Petter, intercepted though on the way. Back to Craven. Craven to Petter. Petter back to Craven. Back to Petter. Petter with a shot. Long shot, just goes wide of Ian Key. Battling now behind the net. This is Travis Duchesne trying to get it to Brian Teske. And Teske flattened at the boards there by, I believe that is Dhruv Takare. Petter with a shot, saved, glove save by Ian Key. Strong showing from the power play early on there. A few good chances. Just looked like a lot of passing though, but if they can get that puck on net, I am not mad at it.
Yeah, they are doing a really good job keeping control. Eventually a shot will come to them, but a lot of credit to Virginia Tech there. Playing a really strong defense. Playing really strong defense to start this game out, especially there on the penalty kill. But Maryland, it's not like they had zero chances. They controlled the puck the entire time. Like I said, shots will come, but not if Virginia Tech is able to clear the puck.
And they do, as Petter and Teske now race back for it behind their own net. We have Gavin Peduzzi applying some pressure, the star for Virginia Tech over the past few seasons. Petter starts taking that puck up, passes back to Teske. Teskey intercepted there by Peduzzi. And this is a dangerous man to have on a breakaway. Stick save there by Jack Pharisee in net tonight. And Craven
Peduzzi's
regains.
looking for a penalty there on Teskey. I'm a little surprised they didn't call it, but you know, you're gonna have it. It's gonna be a chippy game. These two teams, a lot of these Virginia Tech kids are from Northern Virginia area, so kind of a homecoming game for them in a way. The DMV area, like you said earlier, pregame. But you know, this game could end up getting a little chippy. But Maryland unable to really set anything up since their first few shots.
We have the second unit now out for both power plays as Tommy Pilkington tries to take it up to the zone. Justin Antonia tries to get out, and he does. He gets that up to Jackson DeVio, who tries to get a shot off, just sticked away there by Pharisee.
That's going to do it for the power play. Really good job there. Oh, nearly an own goal. But that was a really good penalty kill by Virginia Tech. Maryland, I mean, they were able to kind of set up their offense a little bit, but after the first kind of clearance, they weren't really able to do anything. Teskey tried to make Peduzzi miss, but Peduzzi, one of the best players, he was actually the ACCHL player of the year last season, so he's certainly not going to be someone who's easy to score against.
Yeah, Peduzzi, a menace on the ice, 184 career points as of last week, so we'll see if he adds any tonight. As the Terps have the puck in their defensive zone, and now in the offensive zone, Jack Hudron racing against Max Sullivan there for possession. Sullivan gets it to another Hokie. Blake Warner with a check on the
Big
boards.
hit.
And that puck is up and grabbed there by a Terp.
Unrelated, but this is probably the most packed I've seen the Gardens Ice House this season. I mean, early in the season against Towson, the energy here was through the roof, but tonight it seems like Virginia Tech brought all of the heat, and that includes their fans.
Yes, looks like all of Blacksburg is here tonight. And, you know, it's a great atmosphere for the Gardens Ice House to be packed, no matter what team that whole group of fans comes from, in my opinion. As Virginia Tech decides to reset here, Trevor Kellogg in his own zone passes is up to Zach Stewart. Duchesne for the Terps grabbing the puck back to Teskey behind the net. Teskey sends it up the boards, taken though by Drew Takare.
Good shot block there by Romps. Romps, another one of these freshmen who've had big roles on this team. His role has only gotten bigger as the season's gone on, and he's playing really well here so far tonight.
Little innocent shot there by Duchesne. Sticked away though by Keith. And now we have Eli Petter crashing into the zone again. Back behind the net, and that is up there into the zone. No one could claim it though. Back into the Terps defensive zone as Teskey regains possession and sends it back up. Right on net though, and Key is forced to hunker down and hide that puck.
Really nice play by Teskey there to get the puck down the ice. Now Maryland's going to have an offensive zone face-off, and they're going to get kind of their top scoring line. You got Harnan and Schreibman. Both of them have been goal-scoring machines this year. Schreibman with 5, Harnan with 6. And then you got Luke Mohan, who started the season kind of on that third line as kind of that face-off center. And his role has gotten a lot bigger. He's now centering the two best scorers on this team. Very feisty player, fan favorite.
Pharisee behind his own net, leaves it there for Sarah. Risky play though, and we have a Hokie down. I'm trying to see what number that is on the boards. Number 3, I believe, Ethan Garlock.
The jerseys for Virginia Tech, not the easiest to read.
No.
The maroon on the gray is a little...
Colors blend together a bit, so apologies if I'm a bit slow tonight. Peduzzi now up. Back to J.H. Lages. In the Maryland defensive zone, now Sarah regains. Up against the boards to Schreibman, and Schreibman now carries back to the Virginia Tech zone, though it is intercepted by Peduzzi, I believe. We have number 11, Matthew Tulo, now crashing in, and we have a chance on net there. A whole plethora of Terps and Hokies on the Maryland net.
Yeah, really good job by Pharisee there to not lose track of the puck. He allowed the rebound to go directly to a Hokie. I'm not sure who it was, but the puck was free, a few whacks at it. Good saves by Pharisee. Maryland lucky to stay scoreless here. As you see, Caden Vogel giving his goaltender props. But Pharisee, he's looking really calm. Looks like he's picking up right where he left off against Penn State. He's made a few key saves here early. Question now is, can the Maryland offense get it going?
Face off back to Maryland, but now intercepted by number 22, Max Sullivan, as he sends it back into their offensive zone. Blake Warner tries to get the puck, cannot handle it though. Oh, and
Big
we have
hit on the
Grant
other
Warner
Warner.
absolutely flattened there along the boards. Back to Pharisee. Pharisee leaves it for Warner.
Said this game was going to be a little bit chippy. We've seen a lot of physicality here tonight on both ends. Bad turnover there.
Austin Hearn with the, flattened right above the goal there, Grant Warner. And we have another Terp down. That is Caden Vogel. Bodies are falling left
Surprised
and
they
right
didn't
here.
call a penalty on that last hit on Vogel. It was just
And he's down again.
completely unnecessary, an unnecessary hit on Vogel. Surprised they didn't make a call there, but it seems like these officials not going to let a lot happen here tonight. But another good save there by Pharisee. He's played. He came to play here today. We've seen Maryland start slow a little bit this year. Pharisee is definitely not contributing to that here tonight.
Pharisee has been lights out lately. That is why I, who also design our graphics, put him on the game day graphic today. So let's hope that Pharisee can really quarterback the Terps tonight. As the faceoff is won back to Virginia Tech, we have Trevor Kellogg now with a shot blocked there by Jack Hudrin. Battling behind the net, we have Terps and Hokies. Brian Teskey regains. Teskey back to Petter. Petter sends it up to Hudrin. Hudrin up
Seems
to
like,
a Hokie.
It just seems like the offensive forward lines are just not on the same page, and you're going to see that a little bit when you're mixing up a lot of the lines. I mean, you got Blake Warner and Grant Warner playing together with James Body, so that line's not too different. But this second line of Craven, Romson, Duchesne, I mean, like we said, Caleb Craven is typically a defenseman. The fourth line is a little bit different. You got Tommy Pilkington, who's been kind of a middle six winger for this team all year. You got him on the fourth line, and then obviously you got Chase Wilson, the assistant captain, and then you also got Jack Hudrin. So you not too different, but when you're changing lines, it seems like every other game, which has been the case for Maryland this year, it's going to be hard for the offense to adapt to one another.
Definitely. We have Hokies trying to get a quick shot off there. And we have the puck here. We have Justin D'Antonia chasing it, and an icing, though, and a little scrummage after the puck. I believe that was an icing, but
Yeah, it was called icing. So
Okay.
Maryland's going to have a chance here in the offensive zone. Their biggest struggle has actually been getting into the offensive zone. I feel like when they have control in the zone, they're actually doing a pretty good job with setting up some type of offense. They just have not really been able to do much, and I'm questioning. It seems like we're going to have a center ice face-off. I was almost certain the official raised their hand to signal icing.
I heard a whistle, but I wasn't sure when I saw so much movement after the play.
Maybe offsides or something. I don't know. We don't have replay here.
No.
We're making the best. We're making do with the best. We're doing the best with what we got.
Definitely. We have the puck here in the Maryland defensive zone. Caleb Craven with it, though. Gains possession. Romson Craven playing catch as they try and break through. Craven battling there with the other number 7, J.H. Lages, and we have James Romps flattened along the boards. Both teams battling here to gain possession and set up something for themselves. Craven back to Travis Duchesne. Duchesne tries, gets it to Eamon. Eamon can't handle it, though. Craven, though, regains. And it is intercepted there by a Hokie. Brian Rice for the Hokies taking it up. I'm sorry, that is number 21, Gavin Naw, taking it up there into the zone. Gets a quick shot off on Pharisee, who gloves it. Can have another defensive zone draw here for the Terps as both teams change lines.
And neither team really with too many quality chances. We've seen a lot of shots, but it's been a lot of dump-ins, really, if we're being honest. So offense hasn't yet to be found by either team, but both teams have definitely had their fair share of chances. That was a really good chance for Virginia Tech right there.
Behind the net here, Jack Rakowskis up to Harnan. Harnan tipped by Schreibman, but now Hokie intercepted it back into the Maryland defensive zone. Caden Vogel back to Rakowskis. Rakowskis moving up with the puck. Gets it across there to Schreibman. Schreibman tries to pass it back to Mohan. Schreibman, Mohan, Harnan all playing catch with this puck, and this is back to Rakowskis. We have Zach Stewart, though, all over that puck there. Ends up getting it back into the Hokies' offensive zone. Puck gets up to Thao Langen. Langen takes a shot, blocked there by Mohan. Oop, another great shot there by Drew Takare. Denied, though, by the Terps defense.
They got to get the puck out of the zone.
Another good chance there by Austin Hearn as Pharisee finally gloves it down, calling an end to the play as both teams change. That was probably Virginia Tech's best chance all game of getting something in. Looked like we just had a tired Terps line out there. Some great defensive blocks, though, by those Terps in the back and Pharisee himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams doing a good job here. Virginia Tech definitely outplaying Maryland so far. Just got word from our primary announcer, Andy Parr, who's currently on IR dealing with a jaw injury. The center ice faceoff was due to an accidental whistle on an icing call. So it wasn't supposed to be icing. They called icing, so it goes to center ice. Shout out, Andy. I know you're watching.
Yes.
Get
well
better soon.
Andy.
We need you for the ACC showcase next week.
Please. I don't know how good my play-by-play is going tonight so far, but I'm trying my best, guys. Bear with me here. We have Terps and Hokies battling for the puck behind the Terps net. Grant Warner, that is James Body, flattened on the boards there by Matthew Tulo.
Yeah, and he got a bad part of the board. It was right in the area where it's the penalty box where the glass stops and there's a little bit of an opening, and he hit the edge of the glass. I gotta imagine that hurts. He was not happy after that. And then there he is delivering another blow down there. So he's going to be somebody you already don't want to make upset, but he seems to be upset here now. Definitely don't want to get him going.
No, definitely is. Let's see if we can make up for that somehow, though, as Terps and Hokies are battling again, center ice to gain possession. Looks like it's dumped in there to the Terps offensive zone, but back to a Hokie. Wantel up there to D'Antonia. Shot.
That stick broke.
Stick broke. J.H. Lagis battling with Pilkington. Pilkington gains possession. Back to Eamon as he chases it a bit behind his net. Pressure applied there, though, by Virginia Tech's Jacob Watchell. Hudrin going for it. Check from behind, though, by number 21 for Virginia Tech, Gavin Naw. Shot there by Pilkington. Quick one. Denied, though, by Key. As the Hokies then try another push. We have Gavin Peduzzi trying to break through. Quick shot there on Pharisee. Denied and sticked away by Sean Eamon. So we have a bit of a battle along the close boards to us. Back up, quick shot there by Thao Langen.
Yeah,
Denied again.
Romps' presence has definitely been felt. That's already a second block shot here of this first period. He has been all over the place. Like I said, he's one of the freshmen who have really, really serious roles on this team, and deservedly so. He's been one of the better players. He's a two-way player. He plays on the power play and on the penalty kill. A bright future ahead for this Terps hockey team, and he's a big reason why.
Definitely. It's showing already this season by an improved record from last year. Teskey blows a tire. Battles against the boards, and two new Hokies and Terps trying to get the puck. Puck is up to the point there. Brian Rice, quick shot in. A little wide. Back up now to Lanigan.
Maryland, they need to get more aggressive here. They're getting completely bullied out here on the ice right now. Virginia Tech has been the way more physical team. And it's not that Maryland lacks size. You got big guys. You got Travis Duchesne. You got Blake Warner. Grant Warner's pretty big. James Body obviously is huge. They've got to use their size they've got to use the size to their advantage.
Definitely.
It seems like Virginia Tech is just, like I said, bullying them out there and pretty much doing whatever they want.
I hope that last year's final scores against Virginia Tech isn't deflating this Terps team and giving Virginia Tech a bit of false confidence here, because those were some ugly games if you guys stuck with us last year when we went on our away trip to Virginia Tech. Fun weekend, bad games.
Yeah, Maryland lost both of those games. They lost 6-1. That one obviously left a bad taste in their mouth. Got the offense going the second game, but goaltending was not consistent. They lost 8-5.
Pharisee there forced to cover as West Valiant crashes in. It's a fun name. Both teams get a much needed change. So we have Luke Mohan looking to take the face-off against Zach Stewart.
About 6 minutes left in this period. Very interested to see if either team will get on the board.
Stewart wins it back to Brian Rice.
Virginia Tech has definitely been the better team so far. They've generated a lot more chances offensively, and then even when Maryland gets into their offensive zone, haven't really allowed anything. So Maryland going to have to make some adjustments here the final 6 minutes of this period, and then obviously at the intermission.
Hokies and Terps battling for it. We have a shot there, quick shot by Ewan Andrew. Back up to the point to Rice. Rice with another shot. Denied again by the Terps defense.
Sarah's hurt, and he just had 2 straight block shots. He looks a little sore out there. Maryland's going to have to get the puck out of their zone and get some changes.
Lages, though, not letting that happen just yet. Tries to get it into the crease there, looking for Tyler Gordon. Can't connect, as the Hokies still maintain possession in that offensive zone. Sarah looking to be hanging in there for now, though passes it right to Zach Stewart for the Hokies. Stewart on the boards battling with Sarah, and Stewart will come out with it. Stewart back behind the net, passes it up to Rice. Rice with a quick shot. It looks like that was
a great save
by
Pharisee. Yeah, that was a perfect screen set by Ewan Andrew, and Pharisee he did not lose track of that puck whatsoever. Nice glove save. Maryland, they're probably pretty lucky that this game is still tied with the amount of chances Virginia Tech's had. They're lucky that they're able to get a change here, but something's going to have to change. They're going to have to do something to get some offense, to get their offense going.
Warner wins the faceoff back to Rakowskis. Rakowskis behind his own net. Pressure there by Lages. And the Hokies cannot keep the puck, as Warner going into the zone, looking for body. Cannot get to him, takes a shot himself, and that looked like it just trickled past, but it did not, though. Still maintained by Blake Warner, though, as the Hokies now have possession. We have Jackson DeVivo trying to get it up into his zone. Looks like we have some back and forth here, though. Grant Warner again with another shot. Let's see what he does with it. Ooh, just a little low there. Looks like Blake Warner looked for the rebound, too. Couldn't connect. James Body now. We have both Warners and a Body trying to get that puck in net any way they can. Back up to Rakowskis at the blue, whiffs on the shot. And Virginia Tech regains possession.
Yeah, those are the goals those are the chances you got to capitalize on in this type of game where you're probably the inferior opponent. I mean, they had 3 point-blank opportunities there. And it wasn't like the Virginia Tech goaltender, Ian Key, had to do much. Maryland just kept fanning on the puck.
No.
And then, I mean, yeah, like you said, earlier you had the breakaway, or the odd man rush with Body and Warner. That one was a good defensive play, but right there you had about 3 chances. Blake Warner just completely fanned on the puck, and then his brother Grant, I mean, both of them great players this season for Maryland, 2 of the better bright spots of this team, but got to capitalize against a team like Virginia Tech when you have opportunities handed to you like that.
Battling for possession here as it is dumped into the Maryland zone. Eli Petter fighting with Ethan Garlock, called an icing though. The puck will go back there into the Maryland offensive zone. Yeah, definitely, as Owen was saying, there's some great chances for Maryland. Blake Warner especially had a wide open half of the net after Key was busy dealing with the shot from Grant Warner earlier. Just again, fanned on that one, but I like how that went, though. I like how they got that chance in the first place, and hopefully that we can maintain some of that momentum with the last few minutes here of this first period.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem right now for Maryland is they just have not seemed to be winning. It seems like they haven't really won any face-offs outside of the first few minutes of this game. They've got to be able to. Ooh, and we got a stoppage here. Maybe a
penalty. Looks
penalty
like we
coming
had.
up. It looks like it's going to be a penalty on Maryland. It looks like Tommy Pilkinson's going to be going to the box. I feel like he's in the box every game at this point.
Don't hate on TP.
No, he's a great player, great young guy. Actually, I don't even think we're going to have a penalty.
No, I wasn't sure what that whistle was for either. I didn't see much wrong. It just looked like TP and a Hokie there battling against the boards, but ref is whistling it back.
I'm sure I'll get a text from Andy in a
Andy,
few minutes explaining to us.
We don't know hockey.
No, yeah, but like I was saying, Maryland, it seems like they haven't really been able to win at the dot, and they're able to fix that for the rest of this game. Obviously, that's not something that you can just fix with a snap of a finger, but definitely something that they're going to have to keep an eye on because
quick shot there.
That one, they're lucky that one didn't go in. They beat Pharisee there.
Kept in, though. Peduzzi, another shot. Puck is up. Hudron trying to maintain possession again. Teske tries to take it out of the zone. He can, but he's getting pressure there by the Hokies. We have 2 Terps and Hokies on top of each other. Teske flattening and pushing
penalty
there.
Coming up on Teske.
And Teske there, the captain, running into Virginia Tech's number 27, Drew Takare.
That was Gavin Naw, who he was getting into it with. Teskey not happy with the call. It seemed a little incidental, but probably going to call that most times. And immediately the Virginia Tech coaching staff looked for the call, pulled the in key, and now this is a big test for Maryland. They've done pretty good defensively here so far, but now on the penalty kill, how are they going to respond?
Terps go shorthanded for the first time tonight. We have Grant Warner taking the face-off against Brian Rice, I believe. Hokies shot there by Lagis, denied by Pharisee.
I don't even think that one got to the net. It seems like Craven might have gotten a piece of it.
Peduzzi, though, long-range shot went up and out of play there, hit the netting.
Defensively for Maryland, they've done a really good job at preventing the shots from getting to Pharisee. I feel like we've seen around 5 or 6 blocked shots already here in this first period. Just got one there from Caleb Craven.
Andy just texted us. He does not know why that puck went all the way back.
If Andy doesn't know, then I'm just going to...
Who the heck knows?
Yeah.
Face off one again by Virginia Tech. Back to Peduzzi. Peduzzi. Back to another Hokie. I cannot see the number. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, another really good play by Craven there. He came to play. You got moved to a forward position, but he definitely has not lost any defensive edge. He's been really present here early for Maryland.
Hearn to Peduzzi. Peduzzi all the way up there. To Tulo. Tulo. And number 21, Gavin Naw, fighting for a chance. Denied again by the Terps defense, and that puck goes all the way up.
Virginia Tech's lucky they even had an opportunity there. Andre Serra fanned on the puck. If he's able to clear that, then it'll be a much tougher play for Virginia Tech to make.
Austin Hearn carries the puck in, up to West Valiant. Lagis. To Tulo, who fanned. Back behind the Terps net, but is up to Austin Hearn. Austin Hearn all the way across to Max Sullivan. Sullivan to Hearn. Hearn to the side, back up to Hearn. Hearn with a shot. And that shot goes in. It looks like Pharisee was in great position with the glove there, but could not handle it as the puck trickled in.
Yeah, I thought Tulo, it's going to be Tulo who got a deflection in front of Pharisee. Can't fault Pharisee too much. Really good puck movement there by the Hokies, and they are going to capitalize on the penalty kill, or on the power play, and Maryland, again, special teams woes continue. It seems like that's been their kryptonite this year, the non-5-on-5 play, and comes back to bite them in a really, really tough blow, a period that you played really well, and you're going to be going into the intermission down one likely. Was where less than 2 minutes to go in this first period.
Shriveman and Harnan, fastest skaters for the Terps, trying to regain something here. Kept into the zone. Nope, not. Terps have to check back out again. Sent all the way down there. Pharisee out of his crease, scrambles back there, and Harnan now has possession, but is up again to a Hokie, Max Sullivan. Number 15, Tyler Gordon now trying to make something happen. And a quick shot, just wide though, bad angle from the side. Battle against the boards, who's going to come out with it? Looks like the Hokies keep it in and change. Both teams go for a change. Caden Vogel here. Back to Rakowskis, back to Vogel. Vogel sends it up to Chase. Wilson could not handle it as Virginia Tech gains possession here. Number 21 for Tech, Gavin Naw trying to come up to the zone. Deflected there by Teskey, quick shot. Peduzzi to Teskey. Trevor Kellogg sends that puck up, but is sent back by Teskey. We have some crashing along the boards here, and the Hokies come up with it. Eli Petter gains it with Teskey. Teskey tries to send it up to Wilson. It is intercepted by Peduzzi. Peduzzi, quick shot, point blank, just tapped away there by Pharisee. Eli Petter behind his own net. Petter up to Tommy Pilkington. Pilkington sends it all the way down. There's going to be no icing there as Brian Rice for the Hokies ends the period there by sending that puck along the boards. Folks, we have a current score of Maryland Terrapins 0, Virginia Tech Hokies 1 after the first period. And again, as me and Owen were saying, the whole period just looks like the Hokies kind of have the Terps number so far tonight. Score, though, not that bad, so the Terps definitely still have a chance to come back with a quick locker room pep talk and maybe an energy drink or two. I'm sure that they can come back into this second period firing again. Score, nothing the Terps can't come back from here.
Yeah, Maryland, they're definitely lucky to only be down 1 at this point in the game, but, you know, take that as a positive. Take it as you're only down 1. Definitely some adjustments can be made, but they're going to have to make some adjustments quickly, because if Virginia Tech comes out firing the way they did, I'm sure that they'll score more than 1 goal in the next period. But we will go into the first intermission. As we said, Maryland down 1-0. We'll be back.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Maryland Hockey Network. We are just about to get period 2 underway of this matchup between the Maryland Terrapins and the Virginia Tech Hokies. Terps are currently down by a score of 1-0 after a chippy first period. Virginia Tech scored late there in the first with a goal from Matthew Tullo, a nice tip-in that just got right by Pharisee. And the Terps are definitely seeming like they were playing catch-up for most of that first period there, Owen.
Yeah, you're right. And, I mean, Maryland, they had a few chances. You know, we saw that offensive opportunity with the Terps' third line with the Warner brothers and James Body. Each of them seemed to have a chance early. One of them were able to capitalize, then this game might be a lot different. But Terps currently down 1-0, but by no means out of it here. They're going to have to up their play in comparison to how they played in the first period. It seemed like Virginia Tech could practically do whatever they want. Jack Pharisee, a big reason why Maryland is still only down 1 goal.
Keski behind his own net, passes it up to Travis Duchesne. Duchesne, though, it is intercepted by Gavin Nall. Virginia Tech's first line out here to start off the first period, Maryland's second. Quick shot there by Rice. Intercepted, though. Looks like we have a stick broken. Travis Duchesne without his stick. Petter and Garlock fighting behind the boards. It whistles out to that far side, though, kept in by Rice. Rice up to Garlock. And is back to the other side of the boards here. Terps and Hokies fighting across the boards as Caleb Craven is trying to get it up. Cannot, though. Intercepted there by Legis. Legis tries to get it past Petter. Cannot, and it squeaks up into the Terps' offensive zone there. Craven trying to make something happen here as a forward tonight. Gets the puck pretty far up, but is flattened against the boards there by Brian Rice.
Yeah, Mohan had a chance maybe there. It was a good feed by Craven, but a lot of moving parts there. Mohan wasn't able to control the puck, couldn't get a clean shot out, and Maryland, I mean, you gotta like what you're seeing here a little bit. They're finally applying some pressure, a good forecheck, controlling some offensive zone, and obviously they're gonna have to get some pucks on the net, something that they didn't do a lot of in that first period.
This is going to be icing here on the Hokies as the puck comes back up to the Terps' offensive zone here. And quiet so far here in the second period. We have Luke Mohan taking the face-off against what looks like it's going to be number 17, Austin Hearn for the Hokies. Won by Hearn. Back to Rice. Rice along the boards. Grabbed there by Vin. And we have a penalty called. Looks like it is going to be on Virginia Tech.
And this is a golden opportunity for Maryland. It's going to be on Austin Hearn. I saw after the face-off, it seemed like him and Mohan were getting into it a little bit. Hearn might have hooked Mohan. I'm not too sure.
It did look like a hook there from the official, so Maryland is going to go on the power play for the first time this period, the second time tonight. Could not capitalize earlier tonight, but had some good chances. We're going to see if they can sustain that pressure a little bit longer.
This period starting off very similarly to the first period. You know, Maryland got on the power play pretty much right away. They weren't able to capitalize,
Craven
but maybe get something going here.
Keski.
Great
Keski to
feed.
Craven. Craven trying to figure out how to be that left wing there. Tries to get it to Duchesne. Misses. Petter long shot from the point. And we have a scrum above the net here. Terps and Hokies alike trying to get that puck either in or out, depending on what team you are fighting for. Officials blow it dead. And we're going to reset here.
Teske had a beautiful feed to Craven. I'm sure you all saw. But I was very surprised Craven wasn't able to get a shot out of it. Like I said, it was probably it might have been the best pass Teske's made. Definitely tonight, maybe of the season. We've seen him make a lot of good plays as the captain of this team, but it was a picture-perfect pass. Terps weren't able to capitalize, though, and they're going to look to maybe generate a little bit more offense here.
We have Petter with a long shot, almost trickled past Key. Did not, though. Craven regains, though. Craven juggling with the puck a little bit, passes it back to Harnan. Harnan behind the net, back to Craven. Craven tried to get it to Duchesne, could not. Intercepted there by Gavin Peduzzi, and the puck squeaks out. Hokies get their first clear of this power play. We have 1:12 left. Eli Petter trying to make something happen here behind his own net for the Terps. Petter leaves for Pilkington. Pilkington back to Petter. As Petter crashed into that zone. Hard pass to Duchesne, couldn't handle it.
The icing, but I said it last period, the biggest problem for Maryland, it felt like, is that they just couldn't establish any consistent offensive zone time when they actually got into the zone. And the big reason for that was more because they just couldn't get into the zone. They do fine when they are able to control and calm down once they get possession of the puck, but the biggest problem is that they just haven't been able to get into the offensive zone. Virginia Tech has basically done whatever they want here, and a quick shot there, Pharisee. We've seen him make a lot of good ones. He's been a big reason why Maryland's only down 1-0 right now, but Maryland, they've got to get something going offensively, and a little bit of a problem now that they might run into is when you have a power play with 3 true defensemen, your second unit, you got one defenseman, Sean Amon, who is kind of a more, going to sit back and do dirty work for you rather than, facilitate the puck around.
Puck gets back to Amon as he juggles behind his own net, looking for a play. Leaves it there for Grant Warner. Grant Warner to Pilkington. Pilkington crashes in. Intercepted, though, by Peduzzi, and we have Peduzzi alone on a breakaway. Sean Amon trying to fight it off. And a good shot blocked there. Peduzzi, a nice chance. That is the last man you want on a breakaway.
And Pharisee made a really good save there. Just trickled wide of the net, but Maryland, it's now one of the best chances of this game came shorthanded, but here come the Terps. They might have some numbers here.
James Romps alone, looking for a pass. Leaves it for Pilkington.
That was
Trying
a really
to get
good
to Grant
pass.
Warner, couldn't handle it. And Sean Amon has to retreat, but we have a hand up from the official.
And now Maryland's going to go right back to the penalty kill, and it's going to be Grant Warner. And the problem, Maryland, they were doing good defensively in that first period, and then they went on the penalty kill, and we're going to have 4 seconds of 4-on-4, but it's going to pretty much be a full penalty kill, or a power play for Virginia Tech. And this is, again, you're running into, you're kind of beating yourself here. You're not you don't have the best penalty kill this season. It's been very up and down, but as of late, definitely not been a bright spot of this team, and you're going against a team who already capitalized once.
Definitely, and Grant Warner gets called off there for a hook. So we are going to see, as Owen was saying, if Maryland can redeem themselves a bit there on their penalty kill. We've seen it be good this season, though it isn't their strongest suit. A good start, though, winning the faceoff there. But Virginia Tech quickly regains. Number 11, their quick shot. And a clear. And just as Maryland's 4-on-4 ends, good timing there, but Virginia Tech right back at it. Number 22, Max Sullivan, crashing into the zone. Teske behind the net, sends it back up again. 2 quick clears there for Maryland. As Key leaves it there for Rice. Pressure from Duchesne. Rice has got to make a decision. Passes it up, though. Sullivan dumps it in. Battle along the boards as Hokies come out of it. Back to Rice. Quick shot there. Pharisee forced to cover. Looks like that puck kind of snuck to Rice there. I'm not sure if that's what, I couldn't see the number, but that Hokie lone back in that corner was intending to, but a lucky leave-in for Rice there. Shot.
It seemed like all 4 of the penalty killers for Maryland were kind of swarming the puck. And when that happens, you're going to have a few guys open. Virginia Tech, puck ended up to an open guy. It was a good shot. Pharisee, another good save. He's been definitely the star of the show tonight for the Terps.
Romps wins the face-off, and that is another quick clear, though. Romps trying to provide some pressure there as well. Didn't do much, though. But now we have Jace Lagis trying to come up with it. Lagis circles behind the net, leaves it there for Ethan Garlock, and a quick shot, and we have some pushing and shoving here as Pharisee gets a nice point-blank save. And again, as we were seeing throughout this game so far, some early chippy action here between both teams. Again, a rivalry game. House is packed with Terps and Hokie fans alike. So this is a show that the Terps want to see.
And that play honestly kind of seemed a little bit lucky for Pharisee. It seemed like he was just at the right place at the right time. They left the puck back for Garlock, who was wide open. Pharisee, though, like I said, right place, right time, was right there to make the stop.
Peduzzi there to Austin Hearn. Hearn back to Peduzzi. Peduzzi to Hearn. Hearn can't handle it, though, as Caleb Craven tries to grab it. Hearn and Craven battling, though, but that puck gets there to Ethan Garlock. Garlock back to Hearn. Hearn to Peduzzi. Peduzzi long-range shot. Garlock again. Tries to leave it for somebody, could not. Intercepted by Craven as Peduzzi is forced to retreat. Back to Hearn.
And this penalty kill going a lot smoother for the Terps. They've been able to clear it a few times. And 3 seconds left. Maryland's going to have their first penalty kill, successful penalty kill of the game.
Good job there by the Terps.
Yeah, maybe they can build some momentum off of that.
Definitely. As Virginia Tech tries to get that puck back up into their offensive zone. Could not, though, as Hudron dumps it in.
I'm surprised he went with the dump in there. I thought he had a lot of space in front to maybe lead a little bit of a rush for the Terps. And now you got a rush going the other way.
Peduzzi again. Blocked by Petter, though. So we have a battle across the boards. And puck squeaks out there. Jack Hudron is going to get it. Pressure there, though, from Virginia Tech's Zach Stewart. Chase Wilson cannot get it out of the zone, but back to Teske. Teske to Petter. Petter sends it way up. And no icing there as Hudron battling the Hokies against the boards for possession. Hokies number 42, Ewan Andrew, tries to get something going on here. Andrews, quick shot, pad saved by Pharisee as Petter sends it up to Harnan. Petter has puck again, sends it for Caden Vogel. Intercepted, though, by Virginia Tech 6, Justin D'Antonia. Lots of bodies in front of the net here. Antonia with a quick shot denied. Suffocated by the Terps defense there, but is left for a wide open number 20, Tyler Scara.
Oh, this is going to get ugly.
And we have bodies flying everywhere here.
Pharisee's in the middle. He's got to get out of there. He's got to get out of there. Terps cannot lose him. But this is what I wanted to see from Maryland. I wanted them to be a little bit more aggressive. You hit our goalie, you hit them back, and they did that.
Absolutely. This is a team that is not afraid to throw a few punches. That is my favorite part about club college hockey. This thing turns into the WWE almost every night.
Yeah, D'Antona just kind of a cheap shot there at Pharisee. He pushed back, and I believed it was Luke Mohan, or it might have been Schreibman, not sure. We got a host of Hokies and Terps going into the box.
Party in both boxes right now.
Looks like there's 4 Hokies in the penalty box and 2 for Maryland. So we might be seeing a rare 4-on-3 in regulation. Now Mohan's going into the box. He's not happy. And so we got 4 and 3 in. 4 in the box for Virginia Tech, 3 in the box for Maryland. We're going to have to wait for official confirmation. Looks like some Hokie fans expressing their displeasure with the officials. Not sure why you would be upset after your player took a cheap shot at the other team's goalie, but, first time for everything.
Yeah, we only have 4 eligible players right now on the ice. Schreiben and Teske for the Terps, and Tulo and somebody way far back for the Hokies. I cannot see the number. It might be Thal Lanigan. It is. So, as of the group of fellas on the ice, there are only 4 right now who did not get called for a penalty.
If I'm doing the math right, I believe that we might have a power play for the Terps or just 5-on-5. I'm not too entirely sure. The Terps in the box are Patrick Harn and Caden Vogel and Luke Mohan. Mohan was definitely not happy that he was the one.
I mean, that just depends on if they call Pharisee for anything as well. So that could even it out. Some fun, though, in the second period. A little early for punches to be thrown, but I'm not mad about it.
So we're going to have to wait to see. We'll hear from our PA announcer, Brandon Appleton, shortly on what the official calls are. But it looks like at the moment it's going to be 3 Terps in the box, 4 Hokies in the box. Maybe the Terps will be on the power play here.
So far, I've liked the way that the Terps have been showing out a lot better this period in comparison to last. It looks like they have just a bit more fire in them. I mean, obviously, as we saw by that scrum there, but even before that as well, some better chances that we saw. I think that penalty kill early on in the period, did a lot for them, made them realize that they can, in fact, play against this team. They are relatively even with them, especially if you just look at the records there. Maryland with a 7-5-0-1 record, Virginia Tech with a 6-5-0-1 record. Those are pretty much identical, with Maryland playing one more game and winning one more game than Virginia Tech. But these, in theory, at least on the score sheet, are two very even strength teams. It looks like we have
It looks like
four on four.
It looks like it's actually going to be a Maryland power play. It is going to
5
be
on 4, I'm sorry, you're right.
obviously some personnel issues with Maryland losing Harnan. He's one of the key contributors on the power play. He's the leading goal scorer for the Terps with 6 on the season. So it's like Body's going to be centering. He might be just a body in front of the goaltender, try to screen a shot or something. But
Right.
Maryland, this is an opportunity that they give to you here. I mean, 0 for 2 on the power play already, but you know what they say, third time's the charm. And I have a feeling this game is going to get just more and more chippy. You see Petter in a battle. You have a
Tulo
Hokie.
and Petter.
Yeah, a Hokie was just pretty much putting his hand over the puck there.
Caleb Craven tries to make something happen here, dumps it up for James Body as he goes to chase. James Body to Duchesne. Duchesne to Teskey. Teskey waits, looking for an option. Back to Body behind his own net. Body back to Teskey. Teskey up to Petter at the point. Petter to Craven. Craven, long range shot there. Stick saved by Key. Good chance from Craven. As James Body now has possession for the Terps. Body to Petter. Petter with a quick shot. Saved in front though by the Hokie defense. James Body to Travis Duchesne. Duchesne carries across the blue line as Duchesne takes a quick shot just high. Oh, and a quick shot by James Body on that rebound. The Terps have tied this game up 1-1. That was a very patient power play there from the Terps. It looks like no one was in a big rush to make something happen. They knew that if they were patient, if they kept looking for their options, something would happen. And James Body, in the right place at the right time for that rebound, is able to squeak one past Ian P.
Yeah, and Body's going to get his second goal of the year. I said before the power play was even set up that he was subbing in for Harnan, because Harnan is in the box right now. We heard from our announcer that there were 3 roughing calls on each side, but then there was a slashing call on Virginia Tech. That was on Trevor Kellogg. But like I said, Body, an extra body out there in front of the net, able to find the rebound, cash in his second of the year, and Maryland with a huge goal to keep this game tied, even though, like I said, probably been outplayed for the majority of this game. But they don't ask how, they ask if, and Maryland definitely on the board now. So let's see if they're able to build on the momentum. Like I said, they were able to. They've looked a lot better this period than they did the first period, and that goal is only going to help them out.
Definitely. Quick shot there, though, by Peduzzi, just denied by Pharisee as it's sent back in, though, by the Hokies. Andre Serra behind his own net, back to Sean Amon. Sean Amon sends it up, tries to get it out, could not. Stopped there by Gavin Dahl. Looks like Duchesne got the assist on that goal. Made sense after that high shot. Rebound right off the boards, as we were saying before, landed just in front of James Body, who had that net, side of that net wide open. Easy sneak in past Key. As now J.H. Legis tries to get something happening for the Hokies, tries to carry it in.
And they caught the
all
Terps
by
changing.
himself. But the Terps are able to regain after that change. Grant Warner.
And that's a shame, because Craven got jammed into the boards, and that was by legs, and Craven lost his helmet. Had he not, Maryland would have had a chance at a little bit of a breakaway there. Now the puck is going to go all the way back to their zone. It seems like the Terps, every time they start to generate a little bit of something, it gets
Swept out from under them, yeah.
Absolutely, but like I said, Maryland, they're playing with a lot more heart this second period than they did in that first, and James Body has been a huge contributor here today. Ooh, and
Whiffed shot there by Ewan Andrew.
yeah, that was a wide open net. He would have definitely put Virginia Tech back on top.
Zach Stewart battling behind the boards there for the Hokies. Couldn't have anything up as James Body kind of falls on the puck, though, and it gets up to Grant Warner somehow. Grant Warner slipped a little bit, as now we have an offsides calling on the Terps there. This puck will go back to the Maryland defensive. I apologize, no, it will not. It will stay here on the center ice dot.
Yeah, and all of the extracurricular officially done. You got all 6 of the skaters who were called for roughing penalties back on their respective benches. So Maryland And Virginia Tech, it's going to be, I assume, even more chippy than it already was.
Get excited. As the Hokies here juggling in their own zone, but that gets up there to Eli Petter all the way across the ice. Petter sends it up to Blake Warner. Blake Warner couldn't handle it, but Teskey regains possession. James Body dumps it in. No one's home, though, as Trevor Kellogg sends that up for his fellow Hokies. We have number 10, Zach Stewart, trying to push into the zone. Quick shot there on Pharisee, patted away. But is left right up there by Matthew Tula, who whiffs on the shot. But we have a scrum of Terps and Hokies in front of the net. More fighting right there in point-blank range.
Well, it looks like Pharisee might be a little shaken up. Nope, he just got up
He's
awkwardly.
fine.
Hokies fans wanted a penalty. It's going to be a lot of extracurricular for the rest of this game.
Both teams get a change in. Fresh skaters here on the ice. We're going to see if the Terps can keep their defense going strong here with this zone draw. We have number 17, Austin Hearn, for the Hokies up against Chase Wilson for the Terps.
Tried a quick shot there. Wilson, another block shot for the Terps, and then
Another-
Doherty now.
Doherty, Hudrin couldn't handle it, but Doherty tries to regain that. Chase Wilson up to Caden Vogel. Caden Vogel to Jack Kauskas. Kauskas in his own zone, sends it up for Chase Wilson, rushing against the Hokies. And that puck is almost in the stands. Thank goodness we have a big fat net here, but I even stepped back a little bit.
Yeah, of course you're going to have a net at the mecca of college
Okay.
sports, right?
I don't know, I've been in some interesting rinks before.
But were those rinks the mecca of college sports?
No, it was not the mecca of college sports. It's the mecca of Watchung Hills Regional High School sports. Shout out Bridgewater Ice Rink in New Jersey. It's where I got my PA start back in the day. But enough of that there.
You got to run that. You got to run it back last week too. So
Yes. I did get to do PA last week. It was an interesting experience.
we of course don't have footage of it, so it didn't happen.
Thank
but
goodness. I played some good music though, and my favorite part was when I was doing my closing statements, and usually you announce when the games are. Then the week after, we had no games though during our Penn State game the week after, so I went, next week's games are next weekend, and then Anna Dalbora, our other media girl, next to me goes, no they're not, and I go, on the mic in front of the entire stands, go, no they're not, hang on, quickly look up the Instagram schedule and corrected myself, but I mean, that's why I don't do PA very often. Again though, I will say I had good music. We have some more scrums in front of the Terp net, seems to be the place to be in tonight's game.
that net particularly, you're not seeing a lot of action in front of Ian Key's net,
No,
but
you just gotta stand in there.
Jack Pharisee, even against Penn State, there was a little bit of chippiness. Obviously, or the second game we weren't able to stream. That's a story for another day. But yeah, like I was saying, there was a lot of. I mean, these teams know each other very well. I mean, obviously.
Regis with a crazy shot there, almost squeaked past Pharisee, denied somehow. As that puck is sent all the way back, and it is called there for an icing. That was a great chance there by the Hokies. I do not know how that one stayed out.
It actually looks like they beat Pharisee there again. This happened a few times. They beat Pharisee, but the Terps defense right there, I think Sean Amon was the one who was able to clear it. He, like I said earlier, does a lot of dirty work for this team. Doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet too often. 1 goal, 3 assists this year, but he's always there. He's a lockdown defender for this Terps team, and he's a big reason why this game is tied at just 1 so far.
Rice with another shot wide. Schreiben and Rice now battling as the puck squeaks to Amon behind his own net. Amon figuring out where to go. Is he getting pokey pressure from him? Looks like Paduzzi and Mohan are coming to help as Mohan ends up coming with it. Cannot handle it though. As both teams are really passing this puck back and forth to each other. Sarah to Amon. Amon intercepted there by Paduzzi. Paduzzi gets it to Gavin Naw. Shot wide. And regained by Amon. Amon tries to get it out. Cannot though. Too many Hokies in the way. But now gets it to Patrick Harnan. Harnan up there to number 27 for the 22. I'm sorry, Michael Schreiben. Schreiben with a quick shot. Blocked there by a Hokie in front though. As Andre Serra for the Terps sends it back in to his offensive zone. No one home though. It's the Hokies trying to get it up again into where they need to be. Eli Petter behind his own net, sends it up the boards to Caleb Craven. Caleb Craven could not handle it, as it looks like number 20, Tyler Skakara, regains for the Hokies. Skakara battling with Craven. So it squeaks out to Dhruv Takare. Takare behind the Hokie net. And we have Terps and Hokies against the boards trying to regain that puck. Hokies come out with it. Late check there by Craven against the boards.
Well,
But Hokies are cruising in. And that puck just tipped out there by the Terps defense. Tyler Skakara looking for a shot there.
Terps are going on the penalty kill now. They're calling Craven.
Oh, it was that late check there, I believe. Boarding call there by the official. Wasn't sure if they were going to do anything about that, but it looks like they decided to take Craven off for that one. I believe at least that's what it was. Looks like that was a spot by the trail official. My eyes were on the other side of the ice, but looks like the Terps are going to go shorthanded again. We're going to see if they can recreate what they did earlier on in the period, as we have 6 minutes and 48 seconds left to play. Maryland puts their first line power play unit out, and it looks like James Body is going to the box. He's going to serve that penalty for Craven, I think.
Not too sure what's going on. Maybe he's just there for emotional support.
Just there for fun,
Yeah.
you know? Hey, you know.
A lot of action in front of the net.
Peduzzi with a shot gets past Pharisee. As we mentioned earlier, Peduzzi, the main guy for Virginia Tech of all time, the all-time leading point scorer, 184 career points, make that 185 as he sneaks one right past that upper left corner of Pharisee. It looks like Pharisee just could not see what was happening with all the bodies in front of the net, and Peduzzi.
Another penalty for the Terps. What is going
Really?
on here?
I mean,
Yeah, we got a Tech fan standing up in front of the camera. Sorry about that. Looks like maybe not in Virginia Tech. I'm not sure. It's
some fella, some guy. We usually don't have people sit in this first row, but the stands are a little too packed tonight, so we apologize if the view is obstructed in any ways, but we are going to see what this penalty is going to be exactly. We have, who do we have in the box right here, Owen? You can probably see
we
better
got
than me.
Grant Warner and Ryan and Caleb Craven still in there.
Where'd James Body go?
James Body went back to the net, or back to the bench. I'm not sure. Maybe we have might be a misconduct or a major call.
You're going to see when Brandon announces this, though, but the faceoff is one back to the Terps.
I'm confused as to why Craven is even in the box right now. They had Body serve the penalty, and then he went back
I thought
to
it was
the bench,
because of
and then
that
there was
late
another
check.
penalty on Warner, and so a lot going on right now. Maybe we'll get a. Yes, there's a 10-minute penalty on Caleb Craven right now, so he's going to be out of the game for the next 10 minutes. That's a big blow for the Terps. He's one of the better players, but Maryland, I mean, they're back on the penalty kill right after giving up a power play goal.
Shot there by Garlock wide. It's Peduzzi. Up to Rice. Rice back to Peduzzi. Wide there. Pass to Hearn. Hearn still maintaining it. Back to Peduzzi. Peduzzi to Rice. Rice tries to get in front of his net. Could not make anything out of it, though, as the Terps get their first clear. Lages getting the puck there for the Hokies, looking for his options. Sends it way up there to Rice. Rice crashing in. Ooh, Rice. Rice there to Tula with a quick shot. Wide. Sullivan to Rice. Back to Sullivan. Sullivan over there to DeVivo. DeVivo back to Sullivan. Sullivan back to DeVivo. DeVivo to Valiant. Back to Sullivan. Ooh. Looks like Tyler Skakara looking for an option there. Denied, though, by the Terps, who tips it out of play. As we have 19 seconds left here on this penalty kill.
Yeah, a lot of Terps fans not happy with some of the calls tonight. But it's just been that kind of game for Maryland.
Face-off won by Tech. Quick shot there from Peduzzi. Jack Pharisee denies a glove save.
Score 2-1. Apologize for the delay in score bug updates.
We got a million things going on at once up here, unfortunately. But you can see it when we pan across to it. Looks like Tommy Pilkington here taking the face-off against Chris Kube. Peduzzi now with the puck. Again, quick shot, and that, again, the same shot he took just a few minutes ago. Gets right into that far top left corner past Pharisee.
Yeah, and special teams continuing to be the Achilles heel for Maryland. Giving up 3 goals, all of them have been power play goals. That one was a beautiful shot from Peduzzi. It's what he does best. He's the reigning ACCHL Player of the Year for a reason, but it almost looked like Pilkington screened Pharisee. It looked like Pilkington tried to block the shot, and Terps now are going to be trying to chase even more than what they already were, and they got to get the offense going. I mean, obviously they had the power play goal, but really outside of that,
Hornan
there hasn't been much this period.
Chasing up just behind the play, though. It's Eli Petter gets it up to Schreibman. Schreibman battling there against Kellogg. Teske trying to keep that puck in, cannot, as it looks like we have a chance alone here for Ewan Andrew, just wide. It's Eli Petter there, gets that puck up to Luke Mohan.
And Mohan just got completely tackled, and there's not, okay, they do make a call eventually. It looked like they weren't going to call that. If they didn't call that, then I'm sure the fans here would not have been too happy. But a chance for Maryland here. It seems like this whole period has been special teams, but they got to capitalize on this one, especially if they're going to want a chance to come back. They're already down. It's going to be a penalty. The player's
Trevor
questioning.
Kellogg.
Yeah, he's questioning why the penalty was called. He straight up tackled Luke Mohan. I don't know how you can argue that.
Yeah, but we're going to see if the Terps can make anything happen here on the power play. That's where their lone goal came from on the night. It looks like they have the same unit
They took off Eli Petter. Or, no, I apologize. Caleb Craven is in the box still, so you got James Body in his role now. And got to keep that puck in the zone if you're Eli Petter there.
Valiant alone there with Petter. Quick shot there from his side. On net, but denied by Pharisee. As Teske looks at his options. Teske to Duchesne. Duchesne now leaps for Petter as Petter comes into the zone. Petter down on the boards there. Good hit by Tulo. Puck now with Lanigan, who sends that all the way up. We have Petter battling with a Hokie for possession as it squeaks out to Harnan. Harnan to Pilkington. Pilkington leaves it down to Duchesne. Duchesne looking for his options. Tries to cross it to Body, couldn't find him as the puck goes all the way back there to the Maryland defensive zone. Pharisee now has it, leaves it for Sean Amon. As Sean Amon looking for options, leaves for Pilkington. Pilkington trying to set it up again, passes to Grant Warner. Grant Warner trying to get into the zone, but it is squeaks up there to Lages, who sends it again all the way back. Sean Amon, we are seeing the same thing over and over here. Leaves for Pilkington. Pilkington trying to make something happen. Coming in alone. Tries to take it himself, denied there by Rice.
Just a low percentage play there. You can't just take a shot the second you enter the zone. They're lucky they got the rebound, but they've been struggling to maintain possession in their offensive zone, and just taking a shot the second you're getting a chance to isn't necessarily the best strategy for success.
Grant Warner with a shot blocked by Peduzzi. And again, sent all the way back down as Sean Amon chases the puck, looking for options. Amon leaves for Grant Warner. Grant Warner trying to make something happen. Up to James Romps, who leaves for Pilkington. Pilkington tries to get it across, blocked there by Andrew. And another quick shot on net there, denied by Ian Key. Grant back to Pilkington. Pilkington leaves for Schreibman. Schreibman denied with the shot. Chase Wilson against the boards, gets it to Grant Warner. Grant Warner can't maintain as that puck is up across the netting there. Grant Warner battling with Trevor Kellogg. And the puck goes out of play. We are going to have an offensive zone here for the Terps for, feels like, first time in a few minutes now, I think, since this power play began. We have Chase Wilson taking it against Zach Stewart for the Hokies. Very important zone draw here. And the Hokies win it. Hokies back behind their own net, sends it up all the way. Petter crashing in there with Ewan Andrew. Chase Wilson sends it to Blake Warner. Blake Warner gets it to Brian Teske, but it is intercepted there by a Hokie in the middle. Hokies now with possession, but Eli Petter trying to get that puck back. Shot there wide by Tyler Skakara. As the Terps are desperately trying to send this one out, cannot though. No offsides there as the puck is sent up and over the fence for a home run. The Terps are tired as they are going out for a change. Both teams, fresh skaters on the ice here. Looks like the Terps are going with their second line as the Hokies are going with their, quick shot there by number 22, Max Sullivan. Andre Serra back to Colin Doherty. Doherty to Romps. Romps to Duchesne. Duchesne in alone. Trying to send it in though. No one at post. Quick shot though by Doherty. Trying to get that rebound. He denies. Sent in again though. Just wide of that Hokie net. As Sullivan trying to regain this back for the Hokies. Sends it back up. Jackson DeVivo in. All alone. Shot on Pharisee, who again saves the day for the Terps. A lot of back and forth here with 24.9 seconds to play in the second period. Looks like the Terps lost the momentum that they carried in early on. Down 3-1 right now. Again, still a game that is in reach, but a lot is going to have to change within the next 20 minutes of play for them if they want anything to happen. Pharisee forced to cover there as that puck trickles just to the side of him. Another draw here with Luke Mohan going up against Peduzzi, 2-12s, as Mohan wins it, but it is still intercepted there by the Hokies. Gavin Noss sends that up to the point. Quick shot sent back. Peduzzi at the circle, tries to get something off, could not. Blocked by the Terps as Patrick Harnan now has numbers in, tries to send it to Luke Mohan, cannot find him, intercepted by Rice. As the period comes to a close, with the Hokies really having the Terps number in that last one, managed to get 2 goals added to their score sheet. Don't forget though, Terps had one early on by James Body, but it wasn't enough to get much momentum going for them. Oh, and what have you seen there from that last period?
It's special teams is the issue. I mean, you had the power play goal, but your penalty kill is really struggling here. I mean, you're 1 of 4 on the penalty kill right now. That's got to change. You got to play discipline. Now, you clearly, if you're not going to be able to stop the penalty kill, you have to avoid getting on the penalty kill. So, Maryland, they're going to have to make some adjustments here during this intermission if they're going to want to have a chance to come back. But definitely within reach still. They're lucky to be down only 2 right now, but they're going to definitely need to work on 5-on-5 offensive play. It seems like if it's 5-on-5, they're not really able to do much. See Craven skate off the ice. He's still upset about the call against him. And I guess that's all I have for this period, yeah.
Looks like Coach Joe Carter here talking to 2 of the officials. Chase Wilson talking to them as well. We are going to see if this third period wants to be anything special for the Terps, they have to come up with something different. Again, this is going to start in the locker room. Somebody has to come up with some inspirational miracle on ice speech to give to them. Again, this game isn't the finals or anything, but it is still a game that means a lot. Again, going back to last year against Virginia Tech, losing those games, you could tell really just put a damper on the Terps. That contributed to their 11-game losing streak last season, which thankfully we are not super close to obtaining again, and hopefully we do not get anywhere close to that. But again, once these losses start piling up, and the Terps are currently on a 3-game losing streak, it's harder and harder to get out of that hole. But again, game is nowhere farther than over, and we will be back with you guys for the third period in just under 10 minutes. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the third period here on the Maryland Hockey Network. Maryland Terrapins trailing behind the Virginia Tech Hokie Birds by a score of 3-1. We had a chippy period, last period especially, the whole game, but this really came out in an ugly way last period with pushing, shoving, and the likes. Lots of penalties for sure. And this is how the Terps found themselves down 3-1, going 1 for 4 on their penalty kill. So we are going to see if they can turn things around here in the third and final period of the night.
Yeah, it's going to be, Maryland's going to have to bring some pressure offensively. They haven't really done that too much today. But, you know, it's a long period. You're going to have 20 minutes. You're going to need to net 2 goals in. And, I mean, he looks beatable. You haven't really had too many chances, though. You're not really putting a lot of shots on net. But when you have put the shots on net, you've had good chances. They haven't been able to finish. That's been their biggest problem. I look back to a point in the first period where Grant Warner, Blake Warner, and James Body, all 3 of them looked like they had a chance to put the first goal on the board. None of them were able to do so, and that is looking like a huge moment in the game. Maryland would have led 1-0, and who knows what happens after that. But first period, or this third period, not off to the start they want with Virginia Tech entering the offensive zone.
Gavin Peduzzi flips it just high. Terps ended up winning that opening faceoff, but Virginia Tech quickly regained that possession. We will have the first defensive zone draw for the Terps of the third period. Terps are going with their second line to start as the Hokies put out their first. Gavin Peduzzi taking the face-off against James Romps. Face-off won by Romps, back to Teske. Teske sends it across looking for Doherty. Doherty to Petter. Back to Doherty. Tries to send it up, intercepted by the Hokies, cannot maintain it though. Colin Doherty in alone. Trying to juggle around a few Hokies, couldn't get it to happen, as now J.H. Lagis trying to come in. Try to get a shot off, decided against it. As now Doherty sends it across the boards to Teske. Teske behind his own net, looking for options, sends it way up though. The only person there is a Hokie. Hokies send that back into their offensive zone. A little too far though, as we have our first icing of the third period.
Yeah, here's a chance for Maryland to continue to apply some pressure here. A good opportunity here for them to get a shot or 2 up. The biggest concern is whether they can win the face-off. That seems to be their biggest problem here so far tonight. But they're able to do so, which they are. Should be able to maybe get a shot or 2 up or turn the puck over.
Hokies have numbers the other way. Coming in here is Matthew Tulo. Denied, though, by the Terps.
Yeah, Sarah with a nice dive there. Prevented crisis there. It was a 3-on-1, and Sarah, a very, very sound defenseman, makes a good play.
James Body coming up, sends it high and wide. Down into the Terps offensive zone. Grant Warner tried to get a shot off. Didn't have enough time, though, as he passes it back to Andre Sarah, who gets a shot off. Sean Amon now for the Terps. Sends it down to Grant Warner. Warner to Amon. Amon looking for options, battling against a few Hokies across the board as the Hokies end up getting the puck.
I know it's early in the period, but the start of this period seems to be the opposite of what the Terps' story has been. It seems like the issue was getting the puck into the zone. They've done a good job, generating some offense, not on the stat sheet, but they've gotten into possession a few times. There's no doubt about that one.
James Body tripped up there. Looks like Trevor Kellogg ran into him.
Kellogg looks a little upset they made the call. Not sure what there was. He's saying he didn't do anything. I read his lips. Really like you gotta hide it better than that. But
definitely James Body, a big guy, lots of room on the ice there, and looks like Trevor Kellogg had no choice but to run into him.
And what I was just saying is that the first 2 periods, Maryland, they just weren't able to get into their offensive zone. Now they're able to get into the offensive zone, but they can't really control anything. They've had multiple turnovers already here in this period.
Quick clear there by the Hokies. Hits an official, though, not able to go as far as they wanted to, as Eli Petter now trying to get it back. Petter leaves for Teske. Teske up to Harnan. Harnan in against a few Hokies, tries to get a shot off, but it squeaks against the boards to Duchesne. Duchesne gets it to Peduzzi by accident. but it looks like James Body can get it back. James Body skating across the ice to Harnon. Harnon shoots it across to Teske. Teske looking for what he's going to do next, gets it to Body. Body passes it up to Harnon as Harnon waiting to Petter. Petter to Teske. Teske can't control it though, as J.H. Lage just tries to send it out, but Petter, doesn't let that puck go far. Petter sends it back hard across the boards though. J.H. Lage for the Hokies though, the only one there. Rice for the Hokies, again, tries to clear it out, and he sends that the length of the ice as Pharisee now for the Terps leaves it for Eli Petter. Petter behind his own net leaves it for Harnon. Harnon coming hard and fast. Sends it up for Schreibman. Schreibman deflects it to James Romps. James Romps battling against Max Sullivan. On the boards, Schreibman comes in to help. Schreibman ends up getting that puck out behind his own net.
I don't think the Terps have had a single shot this power play.
Shot there tried by Schreibman, blocked by a Hokie in front as it peeks out to Harnon. Harnon back to Schreibman. Schreibman tries to get it back to Harnon. Again, deflected by the Hokies. Schreibman back to Harnon. Harnon passes it to Sean Amon up the point. Tries to get it in. Sean Amon gets it to Michael Schreibman right there on that post. They're trying to either get this puck in or out. Harnon across the boards. Leaves it for Schreibman. Schreibman all the way across. Tries to get it there to Tommy Pilkington. Cannot. As the puck goes out there. Sean Amon sends it back in though.
That's just, you can't have that happen when you're down 2 goals. You cannot generate, if you're going to have a power play and not generate a single shot, then it's not necessarily the way you get back into a game. It's frustrating seeing all of this right now. It feels like Maryland has had chances given to them, and they've just not been able to finish or capitalize on the opportunities. We see Craven heading back to the bench, so his 10-minute game misconduct is officially over. But like I was saying, Maryland, they've had opportunities. They're had, I believe, 4 or 5 opportunities on the power play, and only 1 goal.
Hudrin. We haven't seen a lot of this fourth line tonight. We're going to see if they can maybe redeem themselves a bit. Blake Warner tries to carry it out, cannot, as the puck is left behind the net. Caden Vogel for the Terps sends it. A home run. That puck goes into the stands above that net we were talking about earlier in the game. Somehow that puck goes way high.
Looks like game on that.
Right. Looks like everybody is okay in the stands. Maybe a souvenir if they let him keep that, but yes, looks like everybody is okay in the stands. I haven't seen that one happen quite yet, but no delay of game there as the face-off is won back for the Terps. Rakowskis now sends it to Caden Vogel. Blake Warner with the puck tries to send it high and out. Cannot get it too far though as the Hokies now are coming in. Dumped in there by number 16 for the Hokies, Jacob Watchell. Rakowskis now has it for the Terps. Rakowskis to Hudrin. Hudrin tries to send it up, can't get it too far. Is now Tyler Skakara tries to set the Hokies up here again. Up to number 6, Justin D'Antona. D'Antona, lots of Terps on him though, looking for his options. Doesn't have a lot of time though as Blake Warner applies that pressure. Squeaks up to the blue line for the Hokies. Lages takes a shot from afar. Stopped there by Pharisee, right into the chest. Again, a lot of back and forth so far this period, but it just looks like the Terps are playing catch-up rather than trying to set any real tone of dominance here tonight. But we have 14:28 left to play in the third. We have James Romps taking the opening face-off here against Hearn. And the puck squeaks out to the corner. Brian Teske sends it accidentally there to Garlock. Battle behind the net. Petter comes up with it and sends it to Craven. Craven across to Teske. Teske to Romps. Romps dumps that puck in. Everyone chasing for it. Romps to Craven across the boards. Craven battling with Lages. Lages comes up with it. Sent it to Rice. Rice up there. Hard to Garlock. Garlock looking for a chance. Fought off there by Petter though as he checks him across the boards. Petter ends up stealing that puck there from Garlock. As Petter is now trying to set the Terps up the other way. Tries to dump it in. Accidentally sends that into the Hokie bench, I believe.
Actually went into the Maryland bench.
Maryland bench. All right, friendly fire. That's
yeah,
not
nearly
sad.
knocked Luke Mohan back into Schreibman. But yeah, Maryland, like you said, they're playing catch-up right now, so it doesn't really seem like they're playing their best game, but you got this line out there, you got some size out there, maybe can assert some dominance here. And I mean, once you get one, you're kind of able to play a little bit more smoothly, but they're definitely going to need to be a lot more aggressive if they're going to want to have a chance to win. Nice hit there from Warner.
Valent flattens him, or Warner flattens Valent there. No call. It's the Hokies' Max Sullivan now.
I didn't think
there was going to be a call.
I didn't think that there was going to be a call there.
Who knows? Who
Had
knows
they called
at this
that,
point?
then the Terps fans would definitely have been disappointed.
Yes, Brant Warner.
Off the post.
Off the post there. Warner leaves it for Sean Amon. Sean Amon, another shot. Kicked out there by the Hokies. As Terps still have good possession. Blake Warner to Sean Amon. Sean Amon tries to backhand that. Misses the net.
Yeah, he tried to get a one-timer there. It wasn't the best feed, but Terps, you got to like what you saw there. I mean, you hit a post, so
you're getting close.
Yeah, you're going to want that one back, but this is definitely the best we've seen them play this period.
Sullivan tries to send it up there for Hearn. Hearn to Valent. Harnan, though, for the Terps, gets it and is trying to crash in alone.
Nice rush there by Harnan, but he's all alone. He's going to need some help down there.
Harnan back to Rakowskis, can't handle that puck, squeaks out past the blue. Getting heavy Hokie pressure here. And this puck goes all the way back to Caden Vogel in his defensive zone. Vogel to Rakowskis. Rakowskis sends it up to Harnan. Harnan, he's got numbers if he's quick, decides to dump. As Luke Mohan, though, on the other end, gets that puck back. Mohan battling against Hokies. Squeaks out to those Hokies. Skakara for the Hokies sends that way up, though, but it's batted down by Schreiben and gathered by Vogel. Puck now in center ice. Schreiben trying to outskate the Hokies. Can't quite get it, though.
He might have gotten held a little bit there. Didn't get the best angle, but
we have a breakaway here for Zach Stewart. Stewart across there for Andrew, and how did that stay out? Stewart and Andrew there had the perfect breakaway. Stewart leaves that for Andrew, who had that wide open post on Pharisee, who looks like he overcommitted a bit to one end. Somehow, though, Pharisee able to teleport to the other end of the net and stop that chance.
Yeah, that's the save of the game. Probably the play of the game for Maryland. That was, I mean, splits and that right leg got a piece of the puck, was able to corral it, and Maryland, if they're able to come back, then that's going to be one of the important plays that we look at.
We have another quick shot there from the Hokies. Looks like Jack Hudson there pushed after that face-off. Maryland fans looking for a call.
Both teams are looking for a call. Maryland's looking for a call. Virginia Tech fans looking for a call.
No call will be given, though, as Wilson and Andrew takes this face-off here. Wilson wins it back to Sean Amon. Sean Amon sends it hard and wide else across the boards. No Terp there. Sarah, though, ends up getting it, but gets it up to Andrew for the Hokies. Now it's Brian Rice for the Hokies. Back behind his own net, sends it across the boards as Tommy Pilkington intercepts. Tommy Pilkington tries to get it to a Terp, cannot
Great
though.
Hit.
Great hit there by Jack Hudron. There's a quick shot there, denied by Key. Terps send it in again. No one home. Sean Amon battling across the boards with a few Hokies. Squeaks out to Wilson. Wilson tries to get it on net, sticked away by Key. Tommy Pilkington across the boards for the Terps. Again, intercepted by the Hokies. Jace Legis now for the Hokies sends it up to Andrew. Andrew trying to crash in. No offside. Oh, offside call there. Yes, I wasn't sure if they were going to call that one, but it looks like Jacob Watchell just a step ahead of the play there for the Hokies. Would have been a nice breakaway.
Definitely say this is definitely the most vocal fan base that has come to College Park, or I guess Laurel, Maryland is where the Gardens Ice House is. It's very odd to hear a visiting fan base this loud.
Definitely. They have fun in Virginia Tech.
Yeah, they're definitely making their emotions very clear. Seen a fan flip the bird at the officials multiple times after some pretty textbook calls, so.
Ooh,
nice hit
big
there.
hit there from Craven.
Yeah, Craven's going to be playing with a little bit of more anger now that he had that misconduct call. Probably not a person that the Hokies want to see on the ice.
Hokies now trying to cruise in, sent across the boards, and Peduzzi sends it back the other way. Gavin Naw, battling with some Terps, gets it up to Garlock. Garlock and Teskey battling. And a long shot there from, it looks like, Gavin Peduzzi. just into the chest of Pharisee. Easy save for him. So we're going to have another defensive zone draw here. Terps have been playing better than the last period, definitely. So far this period.
Yeah, it seems like they've definitely found a rhythm at even strength, which is what they needed to do. Problem is, haven't been able to net one home, so all of the progress is more of a moral victory rather than what you see on the score sheet. But like I said, you still have half a period to play as we just passed the 10-minute mark, but you're going to have to get something fast.
Is up now into the Terps defensive zone. Rakowskis carrying. Rakowskis up to Blake Warner. Can't handle it though. As that puck is sent back to Rakowskis. Rakowskis sends it across to Caden Vogel. Vogel facing some pressure, sends it up to James Body, the lone goal scorer tonight. Body to Rakowskis. Terps cruising in, trying to make something happen here. Rakowskis stands tall against Hokie pressure from J.A. Slagis. We have battling across the boards. Puck squeaks out there, though, to Austin Hearn, who takes it up to Matthew Tillo. Tillo in against Vogel, tries to get past him with a nice dodge there. Vogel says no, and takes that puck back to Rakowskis. Rakowskis sends to Blake Warner. Collision there at center ice. Puck squeaks out, though, into the Hokie defensive zone to Rice. Rice sends it the length of the ice, though, to Andre Serra for the Terps. Serra battling with Stewart. Gets that puck to James Body. James Body back to Serra. Serra sends it up to Grant Warner. Grant Warner to Sean Amon, who ends up tipping that puck into the Terps offensive zone. We have a call here for offsides, I believe, at that Terps blue line. And haven't had a whistle. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, offsides. And I will wonder if tomorrow night we'll see these same lines or different ones. It looks like the Terps are experimenting a bit tonight, which I'm not sure why they would pick this game to do so, especially when the Penn State lines, even though that score didn't go the Terps' ways, they didn't play necessarily poorly.
Yeah. I would be a little surprised if we didn't see some differences, especially among the forwards. I think that they'd probably put Craven back deep.
I agree.
In his typical, second pairing defenseman area. I mean, Doherty, he's been the extra skater today. I thought whenever he's on the ice, you can definitely feel his presence. I think that he'll probably slate back into. I think that you'll probably see the same group of skaters. I think maybe you get Patty Adams back in. Devin Brown nursing a leg injury, so he won't be in. But I think Pharisee, the way he's played, he's probably earned another start.
Yes, Pharisee has not been the problem tonight. But again, yes, I want to see how this Craven forward experiment travels on into tomorrow night's game. Shot there by Mohan, denied though up front by Key. The puck still squeaks out to Sean Amon. Amon tries to get it to Mohan. Hokies intercept. Lages for the Hokies. Tries to beat Schreibman to the puck. Does. Quick pullback move. Tricks Schreibman as he tries to get it to Rice. Cannot though. Dangerous chance there. Hokies were able to clear though, and now they got numbers the other way. Andrews coming in. Serra tries to slide and block. Doesn't quite get anything done with the puck itself, but definitely confused the Hokie rush there. No goal no shot even on net ended up coming out of that. Harnan now trying to figure here for possession. As looks like Andrew and Serra still going at it. Now it's Andrew and Amon. Andrew still has it, sends it up though to Thao Lanigan. Puck is up. And again, lots of bodies in front of this net here. Ooh, big hit from behind there from Harnan.
Something he doesn't normally do, and there's going to be a penalty on him here.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that was a...
Officials calling, I believe,
it's actually going to be on Serra, yeah.
Yes.
Serra's not happy with that. And I'm going to make a bold prediction that this might lead to a power play goal for Virginia Tech with the way the game has gone. Maryland already 1 for 4 on the penalty kill, so they're going to already, struggled a lot on the penalty kill. You're going to have to get something going here. You got 7 minutes left, so you're still not out of it. You still got some time to work with, but now that you're on the penalty kill, you're definitely going to have to get something going. You're going to have to maybe, instead of clear the puck, try to get a rush or two.
Peduzzi has it for the Hokies, facing pressure from Travis Duchesne. Peduzzi somehow gets that to Naw. cruising in, dumps it, no one home. Teske now for the rebound there from Garlock. Pharisee says no again. Yeah, I know we were talking about this a bit earlier. I do think that Pharisee is going to still get the start in net tomorrow night.
Yeah, and he's definitely earned it. And like I said, I do think that we see Craven go back to a defense pairing. Maybe not with Eamon. I think Eamon and Sarah play really well together. Maybe they play him with Rakauskas, or perhaps they move Eamon back down to the third pair. We saw Eamon and Craven play together a lot at the beginning of the season, and it worked out pretty well. Some action in front of the net.
Doozy at the blue, looking for options. Sends it to Hearn. Hearn back to Peduzzi. Peduzzi back to Hearn. Hearn can't get it, but now he maintains. Hearn switching with Peduzzi now as he sends it in there. Blocked by a Hokie in front, Ethan Garlock, as this puck is now sent the length of the ice the other way. Lages for the Hokies, looking for his options. Grant Warner providing pressure as Lages takes himself up the ice. Lages past Blake Warner now. Doing it all himself, coast to coast. Can't get a shot off, though, as Caleb Craven provides the pressure there. Up to Brian Rice now for the Hokies, who gets it to Westphalian up in front, gets a shot off, denied there by the Terps defense. Up to Rice at the point. Rice leaves it there for Sullivan. Sullivan didn't know it was coming. Battle across the boards, Hokies maintain. Rice now coming in for the Hokies. Tries to leave it for a Hokie in front, but it looks like Valent couldn't quite make anything happen with some pressure there by Pharisee.
This has definitely been the best penalty kill of the day for Maryland, so something they can take into tomorrow's game. Talk about tomorrow's game. Someone who I think could sneak their way into the lineup, Cam Haran, is a very feisty middle six guy. Obviously, we'll have to see what they do with Caleb Craven and with the extra skater, but I would not be surprised to see Haran, with his speed and his size. Not necessarily the biggest guy, but he definitely plays a lot bigger than he is. I would not be surprised to see him slot in to maybe the third or fourth line tomorrow.
Sarah out of the box. Hokies trying to get it up there to Valent in front of the net. No dice. Zach Stewart trying to reset to Andrew. Andrew sends it up. The only one there is Sean Amon. Amon across the boards trying to get it to Craven. Sneaks out to Jack Hudron instead. Hudron to Craven. Craven, quick shot there.
Good shot.
High shot, just kicked away by Ian Key and his blocker. Jack Hudron across the boards. Accidentally there, sends it to Skakara. Hudron gets it back, sends it all the way across as Caden Vogel crashes in for the Terps. Battle across the boards here. Hokies and Terps alike trying to squeak this puck out, and the Hokies end up getting it. Takare now sends this up to Tulo. Caden Vogel, though, for the Terps in the defensive zone is the one who ends up on the receiving side of that, as Rakauskas now has it for the Terps. Sent up to Schreibman, can't get much done, though, as Hokies hitting him from both sides. And the puck tries to get to Tyler Gordon, as we have offsides called here on the Hokies. 3 minutes, 37 seconds left to play here.
Yeah, clock is waning here for Maryland to any chance at a comeback, but this has been a very solid period. This might have been their best overall period played. Despite not putting anything on the board, they definitely generated significantly more even strength chances than they did the first two, and probably the first two periods combined, honestly. So something positive to take into tomorrow's game. I have to work on finishing. I do think that, like we said, I think we'll see some lineup or some changes among the lines. We'll also have to keep an eye on what Virginia Tech does, but like I was saying, I mean, the special teams was the difference today. All the goals were scored on special teams, so even strength, I mean, you could say that, Maryland played fine, but it was very clear that they were not the better team. And I mean, there is obviously still time where we got 3 minutes left in the game, or at least in regulation, if Maryland is able to score 2 goals. Start thinking about if they're going to pull Jack Pharisee. I feel like now would be a good time. You have an offensive zone faceoff.
Pharisee still waiting back in his crease. No word yet from the bench. as Teskey has it for the Terps, battling against Peduzzi. Puck squeaks back out to Teskey. Teskey back to Petter. Petter to Romps as Romps enters the zone. Romps battling against Lages. Lages ended up maintaining that. Caleb Craven with the puck now for the Terps. Craven trying to find a pass. No dice. Craven gets the puck back, though, behind the Hokie net. Swarmed by Hokies, and that puck somehow gets up to Romps. Romps to Petter. Petter back to Romps. Romps to Craven. Craven back there to Petter. Petter can't handle it, though, but it squeaks to Duchesne. As Petter and Teskey behind their own net. Try and get a reset going for the Terps. As Teskey leaves for Petter, as Petter carries with Hokie pressure. Petter crosses it to Duchesne. Duchesne back to Teskey. Teskey to Sean Amon now. Terps looking to try and get this puck out of their defensive zone, and they do, as Blake Warner now in to Grant Warner. Can't connect, though. Puck along the boards.
And talking about the lineup changes for tomorrow, I mean, maybe now that the players had a night where they kind of get used to playing with, guys they might not be playing with typically, maybe we don't see many changes. I was very surprised to see Craven as a winger, though, tonight.
Quick shot by Amon. He can't hold, so it squeaks out to James Kellogg. It's Craven circling the ice, gets it for Sean Amon.
Pharisee is out of the net, so Maryland, their goalie pulled.
And this puck sent wide, just far of the net, as Amon is racing.
I'm also not too sure when they actually did complete that, but Maryland, maybe we get a timeout called here. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's
by
actually going to be on
Tech.
Virginia Tech, so probably going to give Key a nice little break. But, Maryland, crazier things have happened. You're going to need to get one goal.
Definitely, we're going to see who the Terps decide to put out. Looks like they're going to keep their same guys: Sean Amon, Andre Serra, Petter, Craven, Teskey, Grant Warner, and James Body. Nope, looks like they're changing a few. We have Schreiben out here now with Romps and Harnan.
They're probably going to try and get, their key scorers. So,
Right.
So Harnan and Schreiben are definitely going to be out there. You probably don't have Teskey out there just because you might be able to see him. It looks like they're going to be sticking with Harnan, Petter, Grant Warner. Yeah, Teskey will be out there. So yeah, you're going to have Schreiben, Caleb Craven, Harnan, Grant Warner, Eli Petter, and Brian Teskey. So Grant Warner, he's up there in the terms of points on the team. He's got 8, 3 goals, 5 assists. That assist number leads the team, so maybe he can facilitate some nice passes here. And then obviously Schreiben and Harnan.
Other end. Teskey gets it to Harnan behind the net. Harnan tries to get to somebody in front of the net. No Terp is home. Petter now at the point for the Terps, gives it to Craven. Craven, shot through traffic. That almost hit that high and left side there, just above Key.
He had an opening. Pinpoint that accurately, it would have been a goal. Like you said, the left corner of the net was open, so definitely a chance there for Maryland. So, like I said, you got to like what you saw from them this period. Obviously, you wish you were able to put up goals, but a moral victory you can take into tomorrow.
Lages battling with Craven. Squeaks out to Harnan. Harnan gets it to Schreiben behind the net. Schreiben looking for somebody in front again. Can't goal, though, so no risk there as Petter tries to set up a last-minute chance for the Terps. We have 5 seconds left to play. Petter sends it to Harnan. Harnan, last-minute shot there, blocked by Rice. As Grant Warner now will end this game off. Terps fall to the Hokies by a score of 3-1. Back and forth game in terms of chippiness, but Terps just couldn't find a way to sustain any offensive pressure. A nice goal in the second period by James Body, but besides that, not much to write home about tonight.
And you've got time. You got tomorrow, so you can take some positives from tonight, which obviously the third period they played probably their best period of the game. Their power play, not great. Penalty kill, not great. They've got to tighten up on special teams. They were 2 for 5 on successful penalty kills. That cannot happen again tomorrow because you can assume it's going to be another chippy game. You probably are going to be on the penalty kill 4 or 5 times again. So Maryland, they've got to capitalize on opportunities. They've got to finish. I mean, like I said, there was numerous chances in the first 2 periods where, they were maybe a shot or 2 away from netting one home, which could have really changed the tide of this game. But like I said, this is a team they are probably on paper not as good as Virginia Tech. And you look at last year, like you said, like we said earlier, they lost 6-1 and 8-5. This obviously a step forward for that, so not taking as big of a loss. But tomorrow night, we'll be back at the Gardens Ice House. Bailey and I will be on the call. Big game for Maryland. They try to avoid falling to 500.
So for all you watching at home, thank you for tuning in. My name is Bailey Unchester from the Maryland Hockey Network. Owen Korzak, my color commentator for tonight. We will see you tomorrow night. Thanks again.